Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode of GangZcraft from the GangZcraft server. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. I am having a pretty fantastic day, and in today's episode, I want to do some techie stuff. We have some things. We're using this kind of hardened clay, this chiseled hardened clay for the floor. I also cleaned this up, by the way, just so you guys know. But we're using hardened clay for our floors. And if we look at clay, we have a lot of regular clay, but not a lot of hardened clay. And the easiest way to convert regular clay into hardened clay, of course, is to just smelt it. So I want to use Mekanism to do this because there are some pretty amazing machines in Mekanism. These factories, these smelting factories, are pretty awesome. Like the highest tier ones can do, I think it's like 7 things at once, and they're pretty fast. So if we get a couple of those guys going, we will have all the clay that we ever need, and then some. So today, I want to dive into Mekanism a bit. I want to do some techie stuff. So if you're here for the building, this may not be the episode for you. If you're here for the mods, stick around because this is going to be pretty fantastic. So a few things that we need to kind of keep in mind. I want to put it in this building, and I think I want to hollow, that's the outside. I think I want to add like a little refined storage terminal over here. Let's just do something like this, I guess. So our refined storage terminal will go over here, and then our machines will go kind of in the main room, like over in here, is what I'm thinking. Yeah, that should be fine. That should be perfectly fine. Okay, so let's grab... let's grab some cables, some refined storage stuff, and let's get a crafting grid all hooked up. Looks like we don't actually have one at the moment, so let's make one. Tell you what, let me go ahead and get the crafting grid in place over there, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. So I'm back, and I'm trying to make myself a crafting grid, and it seems that somebody in the Stanky Leg Boys has misplaced our solderer. Is it in? Aha! Ah, looks like Darkfan is making a proper, like, refined storage room with auto crafting and all the things. So that's pretty cool. I think that just went back into the system. Let's just see. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so, looks like the Stanky Leg Boys are doing some work, which I am very excited about. Anyway, let me get this crafting grid in place. And there we go. Crafting grid is in place and good to go. So now we will have access to all of our refined storage stuff from over here, which is going to be very good. That'll save us a lot of time, actually. So let's start looking at Mekanism, and let's just see. We should probably set that to JEI synchronized. There we go. So if we're going to do Mekanism, we're going to need to start with this guy right here, and this thing. Oh, hey, come back, you. The metallurgic infuser. This thing is kind of the starting point for all things Mekanism. This is used to make a lot of the materials and things like that that are used within Mekanism. Where is our power network? Power network? Did we switch off of dimensional transceivers when I wasn't looking? Are we now using quantum entangloporters from Mekanism, which are superior in every way, but are also really expensive? Let us look. No, we still have a dimensional transceiver right here. So I bet what happened is one of the other SLB guys probably set it to a private network. Hopefully it's Darkfan, since he's the only one online right now, and otherwise this could be a problem. Yeah, let's go. Tell you what, let me get this in place. Let me see if I can talk with Darkfan and get it all sorted out, and I'll be back with you in a sec. Okay, there we go. That was exactly what the problem was. It was that our network was set to private, so Darkfan able to set it. Now we have power, which is good. So I can't modify it myself, unfortunately. I would need Darkfan to do it, but I think that should be good. I should find out if there's a team feature, so that we can all modify it. I don't think there is, but let's just ask, just in case. Hey, I don't know where he went. Okay, well, either way, let's get back to Mekanism. So let's grab some energy conduits, and let's just put this down, get this thing all powered up, and it should be good. So the metallurgic infuser is used to make a whole bunch of different materials from Mekanism. And it takes either redstone or coal, and then I think diamond as well. And we need these basic control circuits, which are basically redstone and osmium. And that you make those in the metallurgic infuser. Then we're also going to need some of these alloys and some of the reinforced alloys, which are basically redstone and iron to make the basic ones, and then diamond and the previous one to make the reinforced guy. So let's make a couple steel casings. We'll start with just one. And let's... Oh, what am I missing? Okay, so skip ahead a little bit, and I've got some stuff going. We've got the metallurgic infuser making the things. I also made an enrichment chamber, and this is used basically for doubling ores, and some other things as well. But if we take osmium ore and toss that in here, that's going to make osmium dust. You'll get 2 dust for every ore, and then you can turn that into upgrades, energy and speed upgrades. Energy upgrades will make them more efficient energy-wise, and speed upgrades will make them process faster, which is kind of exactly what you would expect a speed upgrade to do. But if we toss those in, they can fly through stuff, which is pretty good. That's pretty good. So I want to make these factories. Let's just break this for a minute. I need to throw that in here because I want to have an infusing factory instead of the basic one. And then you can kind of see how these factories work. So there we go. We're up to the basic factory, and you can see it now has 3 slots. The upgrades do carry over when you upgrade to a higher level of machine. So it goes from like the basic machine to a basic infusing factory to an advanced factory and then to an elite factory. And each upgrade gives it more processing slots. And then the upgrades carry over when you upgrade. So let's go back to Mekanism and let's grab, osmium and redstone. Okay, so we'll just grab some osmium ingots, 3 stacks of those, and then 3 stacks of redstone. And you can see we can toss these in here, add in the redstone over here, and you can see it's now processing 3 things at once, although it is also using 3 times the power cost, which totally makes sense if you think about it. So these things can get very kind of power intensive very quickly. So that is something to kind of bear in mind. If you don't have the power to support it, it's going to be difficult. The auto sort feature is also really nice. If you turn that on, it'll evenly distribute whatever material you're processing between all the slots. So kind of a nice feature as well, just to make sure that everything's going. So anyway, I think our next step is probably, let's just clear this stuff out for a minute. I think that's probably enough circuits and stuff like that for now. I think our next step is to make a bunch of those alloys. These guys right here, and it's going to go through the redstone. We may need to dump a little bit more redstone in there, but we'll make some of this enriched alloy because that's another one of the kind of basic materials for all things Mekanism. You need a lot of those to really kind of progress. Then let's take the enrichment chamber and let's upgrade that to a factory as well, I think, because doing so is going to... the thing with Mekanism is Mekanism can be very grindy. There's a lot of kind of repetitive crafting steps and a lot of just processing materials and all that kind of stuff, right? So the thing is, if you upgrade your infrastructure with Mekanism, like your infusing machine and your all these different machines that you use to make new stuff in Mekanism, if you upgrade that infrastructure to factory level, throw some speed upgrades, all that kind of stuff in there as you go, it makes the process a lot more tolerable and a lot less grindy and a lot less miserable. So if you're going to play around with Mekanism, I highly recommend you upgrade at least one infuser to a factory, and you upgrade one of the enrichment chambers to a factory as well. I think that's probably kind of important. And then you put upgrades in them too. So, which is what I'm kind of working on right now. I did want to make a couple of the smelting factories. We're not going to go with the basic ones. We are ultimately going to upgrade them to elite. So we'll need a few of these guys, these advanced circuits, and then I should be able to make those. There we go. And then last, we need the elite, and these ones are a little bit trickier. These require diamond, and we can use diamond dust, or we can use compressed diamond. And compressed diamond is kind of an interesting thing. In Mekanism, you have the ability to take some of these materials that you would use in the enrichment chamber and compress them. So it works on diamonds, it works on redstone, it works on different things, right? So let's make some steel casings. I think you need the osmium compressor to do this. I'm a little rusty on Mekanism. It's been some time. What am I still missing? 2 buckets. Okay, that's easy. Piece of cake. There we go. So we'll make an osmium compressor. I think this is what you use to compress the stuff, but as I said, I'm a little rusty on Mekanism. It's been a while since I played around with it, so if I'm wrong, please don't hold it against me. So then we take some... Wait a minute. I also forgot. This. SLB smells. Pretty sure that was Circaz. In retaliation for me tagging his Ooh, I'm gonna mess up my chisel windows. I should probably take that down. I almost forgot to mention that. I was gonna come over here and grab something, which I no longer remember what I was gonna grab, and then I saw this and either way. Let's just do away with the vandalism, shall we? I think we shall. Yes. Okay. And I'll just toss them into our system, because why not? Now I forgot what I was going to go grab, so we'll just come back to this. Anyway, so osmium compressor. You take your diamond, right? A diamond, like so, and you toss this in here. And then I think you toss in osmium? Osmium dust? Like so? No? Is that incorrect? Let's look for compressed, where is it? Diamond? Am I blind? I feel like I'm blind. There it is. I don't know why it wasn't showing before, but whatever. Maybe I probably just wasn't seeing it. Either way, so it looks like it's actually in an enrichment chamber. 1 diamond then basically turns into a compressed diamond, which is worth 8 diamonds worth of like diamond dust or whatever when it comes to using it in the infusing factory. So you can see we now have 80. Every operation takes 10. So basically each one of those compressed diamonds is worth 8 of them, which means you're getting a lot more value from your diamonds. Now, realistically, do I need to do this? Probably not. The Stanky Leg Boys have quite a lot of infrastructure. We have like 2,500 diamonds or something like that, plus a quarry that brings more in. The compressor, however, is still useful. We use it to make refined obsidian, which is used for some other stuff later on in Mekanism. So it's still not, it's not a total waste that I didn't, use it or whatever. It's still quite useful. Anyway, so let's grab this enriched alloy. Go back you. There we go. Grab some of the enriched alloy, toss those in here, and those are going to start turning into reinforced alloy, which is used to make the next level of machines. I think I may have put a little bit too much diamond in there, though. Hard to say. Hard to say. Anyway, I'm going to do a bit of crafting, I think. I'm going to get some machines made, I'm going to get some upgrades put in them and all that kind of stuff, and I'll be back with you in just a little bit. Alright guys, I am back. I'm working on making the upgrades, and I need some of the basic alloy, but I hate to waste all the diamonds that are in here. And I can't make more of them until I use up the diamond dust or dump it, and that would be wasting it. So I think I'm going to make some of this refined obsidian. stuff, I think that would probably be wise, and I think we can just use, yeah, obsidian and enrichment chamber. We'll do it. So let's grab a bit of obsidian, like 3 stacks worth, toss that into our enriching factory, and that will start making the pulverized obsidian, which we can then take and toss it in here with the diamond, the compressed diamond dust, or this stuff, and it will start making this refined obsidian dust, which is used for, here we go, in the osmium compressor, making refined obsidian ingots, which are used for all sorts of good stuff. The atomic disassembler, teleporters, robots, pretty powerful armor, quantum entangloporters, which are amazing. They're basically like dimensional transceivers or tesseracts from 1.7.10, but just superior to dimensional transceivers. I don't know if they're necessarily superior to the old tesseracts that aren't around anymore, but either way, they're great, and we will definitely want them at some point. All right, guys, I am back. So I went ahead and I tweaked this a little bit. I kind of moved it. I added some of this this hemp, I think it's called hempcrete or something like that. I added some of that, pushed the machines back 1 block because I wasn't super happy with the way that my dark fan power. Dark fan is doing things, and we're running out of power because he's like messing around with our. What is he doing? Not this door. Just kidding. This door. What is he doing right now? Oh, he's expanding our Escalium reactor. Okay, fair enough, Dark Fan. I'll give you a free pass this time. That should give us a lot more power. I should also probably mention Escalium. Escalium in this pack. We have Escalium reactors. It's made by Iskall. It's an amazing mod. Passive power generation, and Escalium in this pack is actually craftable. It's not easy to craft. It takes some doing and it takes some manual work, but it is possible to craft Escalium essence once you find Escalium to begin with. So, kind of an interesting thing. One that would probably make Iskall cringe. But if you're not familiar with it, I highly recommend you go find Iskall's mod spotlight on Escalium reactors, because it's a pretty amazing mod, and a very awesome power generation mod. But anyway, back to business, as they say. So it looks like our power has stabilized, and I've got all of the factories in place and, you know, looking pretty good. So at this point, we take some clay, let's test these things out, and let's just see how fast this thing can go through a stack of materials, right? Let's make sure that they're on 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So basically, it goes through a full stack of materials in about 10 seconds. That is not too bad. That is not too bad at all. And the other thing, too, is that we're probably not going to need that much hardened clay, because I'm really only using it for the floors in this area. We're not using it for walls or anything like that. It's basically just going to be the floors. So, you know, a stack of chiseled hardened clay actually goes a pretty long ways. So let's just make some of that. We'll toss that down right here. And there we go. I mean, there we're talking less than half a stack to do this entire building, basically. The other thing, too, is that we can use these things to make, like, all the potatoes, right? You don't have to just use it for clay. We can use it for whatever, basically anything that can be smelted for the most part. I think there's a couple things from a couple different mods that are a little funky and don't realize that it's basically a furnace. But for whatever reason, they don't work. Either way, this will totally work for the majority of our smelting needs, and this is like the super smelter to end all super smelters. Like this thing, between the 3 of those elite machines, we're talking 21 furnaces, and they're faster than a vanilla furnace. They are, however, relatively loud. So I do want to make a couple of these muffling upgrades and kind of try these things out. We actually have the sound, like the volume of the machines from Mekanism, set to 25% of its normal volume in this pack. 25%, and they're still pretty loud. So I want to try out a couple of these muffling upgrades. If you're ever playing a pack with Mekanism in it and you don't have the ability to modify the config files yourself, muffling upgrades, like, use them, love them. They're quite useful. I need a couple buckets of lava, though. Let's just make a couple buckets. That's probably the easiest way. And then we'll swing down over here. Yeah, over here. We'll swing down over here, and we've got a couple of these crucibles set up. I'm just going to poach a little bit of lava from them. There we go. And that should take care of our lava needs. So back up we go, back to the Mekanism building. There we go. And let's make ourselves a crusher. Gotta make the casing first. Make the crusher. The reason we need this is because the muffling upgrades require something that you make in a crusher. So I'm just gonna toss it right here for right now. And we need to take these steel ingots and basically crush them into dust. Now, yeah, I wouldn't have to use a crusher. I could use like a sag mill from Ender.io or a pulverizer from Thermal Expansion or something like that, but this is the Mekanism episode, or at least a Mekanism episode, so we're going to use the Mekanism stuff. So now that we have the steel dust, now we can toss these things in here, and let's deposit our potatoes back in the system. We have like all the baked potatoes now, and we can toss them in here, and it should take, oh, it actually takes 4. I thought it only took 1. Is that a change, or am I losing my mind? It has been a while since I've used these, but either way, we'll grab a couple of these and toss them in, and let's just see how loud this thing is now. You heard it a minute ago. Let's see, if I toss that in here, that's almost silent. That's awesome. That is a lot more tolerable than it would be otherwise. And I will also point out that for videos, I do actually turn the game sound down so that you guys can hear me. Like, it's louder for me in game than it is for you in the videos. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to hear me over the sounds of the game. So, yeah, good stuff. But now we'll make a bunch of these upgrades. I might as well toss those in here because there's no reason not to. They'll load in one at a time, and it should all be pretty good. I also want to put a ceiling on this building. We'll just do some simple oak slabs and call that good. But guys, I think that is going to do it for today's episode. We did a lot of fun Mekanism stuff today. I'm very happy with our progress. Also, I wanted to let you know, today's episode was actually a voiceover because Windows keeps changing my audio inputs on me unless I watch them like a hawk. So I'm going to put a poll and ask you if you knew that or not. But that is going to do it for me, guys. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check those out as well. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.